watching the Scottish Football Zone with all the build-up and reactions.
So it's a big derby weekend in Scottish football, and I'm joined here by Heidi to speak about it. Thank you for joining me, Heidi. It's great to have you
You're
on.
welcome. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, I mean, it's great to speak to you because I've been seeing the great work you're doing on TikTok as well. Just tell us a bit about yourself as well. For people that don't
Um,
know.
so I'm Heidi. I'm a big Celtic fan. I'm 18. I go to college. I just kind of wanted to start football content 'cause I seen everybody else doing it, so I was like, you know what, I'm going to jump in the wagon. Cause I always loved football for years, but like I wasn't really like, oh, should I date? Should I date? But then I started it in October, and like the amount of followers I've got and the support's been great. So now I'm really looking forward to see what comes up next. And obviously, I'm starting my new podcast with Molly and Morgan, called Far From Accurate. That should be on YouTube and Spotify soon.
I mean, that's a brilliant name as well. A brilliant name. So, I mean, sorry to cut in there, but just looking back on Celtic's last match, then Motherwell, what do you make of that game? Because I thought Celtic were very bad, but fair play to Motherwell, they were brilliant.
we were shocking. We had nothing was working for us. I mean, the back three again is not working for us. I don't know why Nancy is always keeping the back three when he knows it's never going to work with his team, because the players aren't used to it. Motherwell were all over the park as that game. Defensively, we're shocking. We were just no cutting it, and then Casper Schmeichel for the second goal. Like, he shouldn't have passed it to the Motherwell player. The Motherwell player is going to pass it opposition goes and scores. So it was just a absolute nightmare. But fair play to Motherwell. I mean, they are doing really well in the league and fully deserved the win. They should have scored a lot more.
Yeah, like, I mean, I thought Motherwell played brilliantly.
Mhm.
Celtic had a shot at goal or nothing, Heidi. It was
I know.
terribly watched from a Celtic point of view, but fair play to Motherwell.
Oh, I know. Motherwell were outstanding. Better team.
See, in terms of the match tomorrow, Heidi,
Mhm.
what are you thinking about that in terms of a Celtic point of view then?
I'm optimistic. I don't know how it's going to go. I think Rangers off the back of 2 wins against St Mirren and then Motherwell. I think Rangers will be on form this game. I don't think we've got the standards to go and beat them. I think we'll get beat. But obviously, it just depends how Nancy is going to come ahead of this derby. It's a huge game for him because he is under pressure. I mean, he's lost his last 5 games out of 7, so he's really under it. And if he keeps continuing with back three, Rangers are going to run errors. So I really think we will lose that game, which I will only be surprised by. But we'll see what happens. Maybe we'll go and win or draw, but I'm not looking forward to it.
Yeah, and Celtic just they just got a new player today, Heidi. On
I've
loan
seen that this
from
morning.
Bournemouth. Yeah, so hopefully he can fit in. But I think in terms of Nancy, are you more like Nancy out than Nancy in? How are you feeling about the manager?
I'm Nancy out.
Yeah,
hmm
yeah. I mean, in terms of Nancy, I don't think like it's Nancy's fault, but I don't think he was really qualified for the job, Heidi.
100%. Mm.
Yeah, I just feel like he was sort of left out to dry because at the end of the day, Celtic had Brendan Rodgers and Neil Lennon and people like that who are
hmm
who really know the club, but
hmm
I think Nancy's just been thrown in there.
100%. I think it's too big a job for him as well. Mm.
Yeah, I think it is. I think you're spot on there, and I find it weird as well, Heidi, that that there's been no Celtic sort of backroom team because you look at Martin O'Neill, he had the Sean Maloney and he had Matt
Uh-huh.
Foley as well.
Uh-huh.
So
I know.
I think that's a little bit strange, but see, in terms of the match tomorrow, I mean, well, like you said, the Rangers are going into it in good form as well, Heidi.
Even if they're not playing great, they're still getting 3 points.
Yeah, I don't think they've played great at all under Danny Rowe so far, but they're still managing to get 3 points in most matches. But I think tomorrow will be a tough test. I think I'm going to go out there and say live on YouTube here just now, Heidi, that I do believe that if Wilfred Nancy fails to win this game, I think he'll be sacked.
Do you think
think-
so? I think the board will sack him.
Yeah, I think they will. I think they'll have to.
They do. I mean, he's gonna. I mean, could he end up being like a Russell Martin, like what happened to Russell Martin with all the carry on outside the Falkirk Stadium and that? Like, I didn't want that happening to him, so I think it's maybe best he goes if we do lose on Saturday.
Yeah. See, in terms of Rangers, then who's the kind of danger man for you? For what you Aiden?
For Rangers, and maybe it depends obviously who like players are on form at Rangers. I think is it Diamande? I think he's a decent player. And obviously like Raskin, Tavernier, Butland, you know.
Yeah.
And that Asgard has scored 2 goals as well. So obviously they've got that striker Trimiti who hasn't worked at Rangers really. But at the end of the day, they're still going to come on this full form and say like we could go. Even that young boy Mikey Moore. I think
He
he's a
is pretty
decent.
good.
I think he's a decent young player. So they are, and even Connor Barron. I heard Rangers fans are quite liking him now. So there's a few players in that Rangers team that I'm kind of worried about. At the end of the day, we need to go near perform, but I don't really see it happening after the last few derbies.
No.
Mm.
No. I think in terms of Celtic as well, Heidi, I think the board will certainly know how Celtic fans are feeling during the game as well, because there's no there's no hiding place. You know, there's no hiding place.
100%.
But I think if we're looking at the matches tomorrow, you've got Celtic versus Rangers, but you've also got Dundee versus Dundee United as well.
Oh,
That'll be a cracker as well, eh?
that will be a very good game.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's some great games in Scottish football this weekend. So,
There is.
I think just in terms of like the Celtic Rangers match, then Heidi, I mean, I've seen in terms of prediction. What are you thinking about that?
I'm going to be honest, 2-1 Rangers.
Yeah, I mean, I did.
I don't like saying that. But
No, I agree with
what
you.
it
'Cause
is.
I did say to Michael the other day, I think Rangers will win 2 or 3-0. You know, I just feel like Celtic at the moment. I mean, that match against Motherwell, Heidi, Celtic were really struggling, and
But we're
fair play.
struggling. I know, fair play. They were so good.
Yeah, and Celtic they hardly had a shot. So I think it's only fair we go through the rest of the matches. We've got Dundee against Dundee United, Falkirk versus Aberdeen.
That's a good game.
The Tynecastle, you've got David Martindale's going to Tynecastle, and then Motherwell are playing St Mirren, and David Gray after 2 impressive big wins, the Edinburgh Derby, and then the game against Aberdeen, they take on Chris Dillon at Rugby Park as well. So I think there's a lot of big matches, Heidi.
Aye, there is definitely.
And I also think it'll be interesting to see actually what actually happens tomorrow in these matches, because I was going to ask you this as well. But do you think in terms of Motherwell, they've got a genuine chance of being in the top 3 or top 2?
I think they do if they keep up the way they're going, and if they're causing problems to Celtic and nearly drew with Rangers, I think they have really a high chance with their squad, and if they keep up the consistency.
Yeah, I mean, just looking ahead to the match tomorrow, in terms of Hearts against David Martindale's Livingston, what are you making of the Hearts story? Because although you're a Celtic supporter, Heidi, I'm sure it's also good to see somebody else challenging.
Aye, as I think for far too long, I mean, it's been nearly 40 years since the last time a team outside the Old Firm has won the league, and it's really interesting to see a big title race like this. This league is mental, like it's going up and down. Hearts have been outstanding. I think, 2 losses in the league so far. I mean, it's incredible the job Derek McInnes has done, and the recruitment he's brought in, and the stuff obviously Tony Bloom and the analytics. I think they've done outstandingly with the players we've got, like Sabraga, Kezaridis, Shankland, Halkett, that new goalie. I think they've worked really well as a team, and I think they're definitely up for second place or even the league if they do keep going, and I think they will go and beat. I think it's a good game after obviously a poor derby. Because I thought Hearts were not great that day. Hibs were run over the park with them. They did have chances, Hearts, like in the first half, Shanklin header should have scored. But
Yeah,
I think in terms of like Hearts right now, I think they are flying. And I think it's a good game to come back to against a bottom side Livy who haven't won in 17 games. Like surely now is it maybe time up for David Martindale? Obviously he's had some decisions against them, but at the end of the day, I mean, that is bad. They've not won a game since August. So I think Hearts at home at Tynecastle under their fans, I think Hearts will win that comfortably 3-0. I think they will.
well, I think I'm going to
Mhm.
go United, but I think I'm going to go 4-0 to Hearts.
Mhm.
I think Rob will be on later, and he'll be talking about this game. Motherwell plays St Mirren.
Oh, that's a cracker, that is. Mhm.
Yeah, so that'll be a good game because I think as Therese was saying earlier, I mean Motherwell played Celtic off the park. I don't
Mhm.
think I don't I, I don't think Heidi that I've seen a Celtic team be played off the park as much as
Oh,
I
I
have
know.
with
Oh, it
that
was
Motherwell team.
dreadful.
Yeah, it was Celtic were absolutely bullied all over the park.
You're
Um,
right. You were.
but
Mhm.
but fair play to Motherwell. I mean, I think in terms of this match, Stephen Robinson will be pretty happy because they probably should have took a point off Rangers. They
Mhm.
obviously,
Aye.
they obviously missed a penalty, a great save by Jack Butland. But
Mhm.
I think St Mirren will be pretty happy.
Aye, 100%.
But for that game, I'm going to go 2-0 to Motherwell.
Aye, I think I'll go the same 2-0 Motherwell. Mhm.
Yeah. Then we're going to Rugby Park, Heidi, and obviously Chris Dillon is now the manager. He's actually done okay. Robbie
Mhm.
spoke to him last week, as you know, from the
Mhm.
TikTok. But
Seen that. That was brilliant. That. Mm.
yeah, it was great to see that Robbie got the access to speak to Chris Dillon and speak to Stephen
Mhm.
Robinson.
100%.
But,
Mm.
no, I think this is going to be a close match. I'm going to say 2-1 to David Gray, and I think they're going to go 3 wins in a row.
Mhm. Aye, I'll go 2-0 Hibs. I think Kilmarnock are really struggling at the minute. Obviously, haven't won God knows how long, and I think obviously Kettlewell getting the sack, and because I'd won in 10 games, it was kind of a bit drowsy for them. And I think, as I've seen, they're looking at Robbie Nielsen as their new manager.
Yeah,
He's a contender, so I think if they get a manager who knows Scottish football, I mean, he done it with Hearts, got them in third place. I think it's a decent appointment, and I hopefully get Kelly back up to kind of where they should be. Because right now they're sitting 11th, and it's no great for Kelly to be there. I'm sure they should. Their aim is to be like 8th or 7th in the league. No doing there, so hopefully when a new man comes in, hopefully the players buck up and hopefully they get something for it.
do you think that obviously that David Gray, do you think he's relieved a bit of that pressure? Because two big wins against obviously the local rivals and then Aberdeen on Tuesday, surely
Mhm.
that's took a bit of pressure off him, eh?
Yeah, I think David Gray's done a fantastic job at Hibs. Like even like what they done last season, I think David Gray's done an excellent job at Hibs. I think some of the players are looking great. Like obviously Milligan, McGrath. Obviously they've got Bowie who was flying and he's kind of dropped in a wee bit, but I think Gray's done a fantastic job at Hibs. Mm.
See, in terms of, I've seen Josh Mulligan is getting linked with Celtic.
I've seen that. Mm.
So would you take him in Celtic, Heidi?
I probably would. I would, but as I said before, if obviously it depends what manager we have. If it is Nancy, will he fit under the system? This is the thing. Obviously, we need to find players who are going to fit under the system. But I would take him at Rio Hatate any day of the week. I think Hatate has been off it for ages. Mm.
Yeah, it's been offered for a while.
Mm.
I just want to ask you about that match then. See, in terms of Robbie Nielsen, do you think he'd be a good appointment? Or do you think
I
it'll be
think it will be a no bad appointment for him. I think obviously he does know the Scottish League. He's managed a top flight club before at Hearts. I think he will hopefully get Kilmarnock back on track where they kind of should be. I think it's a no bad appointment.
Yeah, I mean, see, in terms of it, I think this has probably been the best league for a while because
It has been definitely.
it's been so open. It's been so open.
100%.
I mean, if you look at even like Motherwell, you look at David Gray and Hibs, you look at Hearts.
Mhm.
He, I mean, the first trophy of the season went to St Mirren as well. So I think
Mhm.
you've got to say Scottish football in a very good place, Heidi.
It is 100%. I mean, when it used to be Celtic winning everything. I mean, it was great, but I think with other teams in the leagues trying winning stuff and trying to challenge up there as well, it's been great. I think the league's been fantastic in terms of the other Scottish teams like Hearts, Hibs, Motherwells. So it's been great to see that.
And see in terms of see in terms of what the Dundee derby tomorrow, what you thinking about that? Because I always make a joke with Robbie that Stephen Presley keeps saying he's been dreaming and stuff like that. I mean,
Oh, Stephen Presley. I think it'll be obviously a question. You look at maybe Dundee United, who have been a bit off it, but kind of up and down. Obviously, they bet Celtic, they drew with Hibs, they drew with Aberdeen, and obviously bet Livingston on Tuesday. I think obviously Dundee have picked up a wee bit under Presley. I think obviously they bet Falkirk and bet Kelly, so I think obviously two teams who are on back-to-back wins. I think it'll be a close game. I honestly think Dundee United will just edge that. So I'm going to go 2-1 Dundee United. But I mean, it could go anywhere that game.
yeah, it definitely could. I always find this game interesting because they don't actually need a bus to go to the game. They can just
I know it's just across the road.
walk 5 minutes. That's them there. But I, I, I mean, I'm going to go for Dundee United 3, Dundee 1,
Right.
3-1 to Dundee United. I just wanted to ask you, Heidi, what obviously there was talk about it last night about Martin O'Neill. I mean, would you take him back for the rest
Well,
of the
I think they should have kept him till the end of the season or till the end of January, because they brought in Wilfred Nancy at a really bad timing, where we had big games coming up, like a cup final, Roma and Europa League, the likes of, it was the Alexa Hearts at home. Like, they should have kept Martin O'Neill till the at least January end of season, or even Maloney, to steady that the note. Then they should have brung him in at least maybe the start of a new season or January. Then he would maybe have time to look at the players, see the formation. He's been thrown at the deep end a little bit. But I think as well, he's a bit arrogant, Nancy, the way he
Yeah,
comes out and says, "Oh, I see good things and I'm working and all this," and saying it's not about winning games. But if you're at a club like Celtic or Rangers for that matter, you should be winning games. Like that's the main prospect to it. And I just think he's just no cut it for me. And I think it's maybe best that they should have never appointed him so like late in the first place. They should have just kept O'Neill and Maloney, or even Maloney, and then they could have brought him in at least like maybe August or January, and then we'd have had time, because they obviously with Postecoglou focus saying, "Oh, but he was a nobody like Postecoglou," but Postecoglou had time. He had pre-season. He got players in quickly. He had time with the players. Nancy's no had that, and it's the board again for appointing him.
yeah, and I think as well, Heidi. I mean, Postecoglou had 30 years in management.
Hmm.
I think Nancy's only had like 2 or 3 years in management, so it's
Exactly.
totally different, you know.
Yeah. Mhm.
And I suppose the next thing we should probably go on to is the back to the Celtic and Rangers game for a second, because I want to talk to you about the transfer window. The transfer window's just opened there, Heidi. I mean,
Mhm.
in terms of your club, Celtic, see in terms of players, how many players are you thinking Celtic should bring in?
Right back, because Johnson, we don't know how long he's going to be out for, but I seen we brought in a right back, but he's only for 6 months, I'm sure. I don't know if it's an option to
Yeah,
buy or no. Striker's a must. Striker is a must. I think Johnny Kenny for me, obviously he was doing well under Martin O'Neill, but I just think he's not cutting it for me, Kenny, and it's a shame. But I just think there's something we're missing. Obviously, when we had the likes, there was rumours of Keogh going back. Why bring ex-players back? It might not work. We need some fresher new. So I think our strikers are must. Maybe another defender, maybe another midfielder. Just even a goalie for that matter. I think Casper Schmeichel has just lost it recently, even after the cup final last season against Aberdeen. He's just no cut it. I mean, the mistakes he's making. I mean, he's a top goalie, and I mean, for a top goalie to do that, it's just I think it's time up for Schmeichel. So I think a new keeper would be great to come in. But
Yeah, I mean,
obviously, it just depends how the board are going to work out the signings and what they're going to bring in.
I think I think Celtic have shown an interest of trying to renew Schmeichel's contract, but I totally agree with you. I don't think that Celtic should be renewing Schmeichel's contract
Nah.
because surely you can get someone younger or even Sinisalo. I mean,
Exactly.
surely it's time to give Sinisalo a chance.
Exactly. I mean, Sinisterra's like in his 20s, like he's got a lot to prove. I mean, he did start against Livingston. I mean, they 2 goals, it wasn't really his fault. I think if you start him consistently, you might see what he's like. If you're not starting him, you're not going to actually see what he's like. And with Casper Schmeichel, who's just making mistakes and no cutting it, why not start Sinisalo and maybe see what he's like? Because we don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean exactly. I think it's all been a little bit strange because you look at the striker position as well. I mean, Brendan Rodgers had to go in his phone book and speak to Ian Atcho as well and see if he was available after Celtic messed around in the transfer market as well.
Mhm.
So I mean, the big thing for Celtic is to make sure they get the transfer business done very well this time.
They have to, because then Celtic fans are going to be on the board again. And it's going to just be more chaos again.
Yeah, I mean, I'm I'm actually going to the match tomorrow, Heidi.
Oh,
So
you gone?
yeah. So I'm looking forward to it. It should
My uncle and my pop's going to the match, I'm sure, because my uncle's a season ticket holder, so they're going up as well.
yeah, I mean it should be great too. It should be good, but I think it'll be a Rangers win.
So they are.
It'll be a Rangers win. But see as well, Heidi.
Mhm.
Talk talk to me about obviously the season as a whole. How do you see the kind of season planning out?
It honestly just depends who's going to bring in who in January. You look at maybe Hearts, are they going to fight to try and win this title? Who are they going to bring in? Like, are they going to have injuries like the likes of if their main player's son happens or they get injured? You know what I mean? The likes of, is Motherwell going to strengthen? Is Rangers going to strengthen? Are we going to actually bring stuff in? It's so unpredictable to predict who's actually going to win the league because it's so autumn. Like, it's so autumn. Like, I thought, oh, probably, or maybe Hearts will drop Celtic may win it. But then I said, I mean, a couple of days ago, I said Hearts could win the league, but obviously they dropped a bit and then we were picking up. But I said it's so autumn. Like, it is generally so autumn this season.
Yeah, I mean I genuinely thought when Tynecastle when it was 2-1 to Hearts, I felt that was the end of the title race for Celtic and Rangers. But fair play to Celtic and Rangers, they've kind of fought right back into it. But for me, I still see Hearts as being the favourites.
So they are.
Yeah, because they've got a real strength in depth, like you said. Scotland's already got 13 goals so far, and they've got really good strikers as well, like Braga and players like that. So I think in terms of the league this season, I would I would go with Hearts. Then I would go with Celtic. Yeah, I mean, see in terms of in terms of the fixtures tomorrow, Falkirk versus Aberdeen. I mean, that's an interesting game as well
That is very interesting.
because Aberdeen, right? Aberdeen have not really done too well in
Yeah.
terms of the
I mean, it's going to be a question. I mean, it's 7th against 8. You look at Falkirk 24 points, Aberdeen 25, so it's going to be a question.
yeah, and Falkirk are for a team that was in the championship last season. They've done pretty well adapting to the league.
They have. I think Falkirk has done great for what they've got and the resources. I think John McGlynn's a good manager. And I think obviously drawn with Rangers, I mean, I think Falkirk has been a breath of fresh air to this league. And I think, obviously, I think they will definitely stay up. I don't see why not. And I think against Aberdeen obviously have kind of been a bit up and down at the minute. Obviously they lost to Hibs, drew to Dundee United, lost to Celtic, so obviously they're kind of a bit they're quite all over the place, Aberdeen at the minute, but I think it'll be a close one. I'm actually going to go, it's so hard to predict. I'm going to back Falkirk. I'm going to go 2-1 Falkirk.
Yeah, I'm going to go 2-0 to Falkirk as well. I think just because Falkirk have got players like Miller and Ethan Ross as well, because I quite like their sort of forward options.
They've got Brian Graham, like Brian Graham's experience, you know what I mean? So
Yeah, Brian Graham was a great player for Partick Thistle as well, and he scored the goal at Rugby Park as well recently. So I think you're spot on there. But see, in terms of Falkirk, obviously the big news popping out on Tuesday was Scott Arfield is leaving the club. So what did you make of that, Heidi?
It was a bit of a, it's a bit of a weird one. Like, I didn't really expect that to like hit him. Obviously, I thought bringing an Arfield back to his kind of childhood club, I thought maybe it would bring experience to Falkirk for the season. Obviously, Arfield has experience, obviously playing with Rangers. I thought, oh, maybe it might work, but obviously, is he going to go to another club? Obviously, need to see what happens. But I thought it was a weird one getting rid of him. But I mean, it is what it is. But I think obviously, where's he going to go next? Obviously. Would Rangers fans take him back? I don't know, but obviously he's going to go to another club in the Championship. It just depends.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking maybe a St Mirren or a Partick Thistle, something like that, who could potentially need a sort of squad player to be there. But I tend to agree with this point. It says results don't matter. It's all about on the day, and I think that's spot on. But also,
it is. It is definitely.
Also, what I would say, Heidi, is Celtic's been so open. They've been so open for the past so many weeks. So if Celtic want to have any chance of winning this game, they need to be not so open. That's why for me I predicted that Rangers will win, because I think if you look at Tuesday night's match, I mean Trusty's the only player that was properly actually making sure the ball wasn't going in the net. Everybody else was just trying to go forward, and you could see Schmeichel moaning at people. A lot of the players moaning at each other. So I think that I don't know if there's been some sort of breakdown with the manager or something like that, but I just feel like Celtic overall are in a bad place at the moment.
They are in a bad place, but as I said before, I mean, a lot of fans will sit and call us entitled, but I mean, to be fair, I haven't really seen the 90s. The only bad season I saw was COVID. That was it. Like, I've not seen the drought, obviously, in the 90s, but a lot of fans who have seen the 90s have said this is worse.
Yeah, I mean, to play like devil's advocate in the situation, I would say that Celtic fans are not entitled, because at the end of the day, Celtic fans are not saying, Celtic fans like you Heidi, are not saying Celtic need to go out there and spend 50 million. Celtic fans are saying that they want a striker and they want a right back and they want players brought in. That's what Brendan Rodgers wanted. The board still refused to do it, and you're now seeing why Brendan Rodgers was moaning about people like Shin Yamada or Johnny Kenny, because that's now three managers that have come in and Shin Yamada can't play, and you look at people like Inamura, who's nowhere near the squad. You look at Manchester City, right? Manchester City spoken to Celtic and said, we're not happy that he's not playing, so we're going to take him back.
And he's not been playing. But I heard apparently like he had an attitude problem, that's why he wasn't playing. But as I said before, you just don't sign players and don't use them. What's the point of signing them? Or what's the point of giving that guy for City, that is it Simpson Hughes his name is?
Yeah,
That guy for City, like why bring him in and then you don't use him? Like it's just silly. Then I heard that he's gonna get recalled to Man City.
yeah, he's back at Man City now, so it's interesting to see what Celtic are actually doing, because
Mhm.
surely they must have known that he was going to be part of the squad, and that's what I mean. Celtic's thinking is not joined up. Everybody at the club needs to be aligned. Think back to when Ange Postecoglou was here. Ange Postecoglou was still moaning at the board, but he said, "You need to supply me with players." And
Mhm.
then he obviously got into his contacts book in terms of Kyogo, in terms of Hatate, in terms of
Mhm.
Maeda, in terms of uh, Iwata. So
Mhm.
there's a lot of players there that obviously Ange Postecoglou done a lot of the recruitment by himself. And I would even go as far to say that Celtic got a bit lucky with Ange in terms of knowing that Ange knew that market. I don't know if you agree.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Mm.
Because if Ange didn't know that market, then Celtic would be absolutely nowhere, because Kyogo was the one that was scoring all the goals. You look at
Mhm.
people like Abada. I think Abada was through
Oh,
contact
Abada was a brilliant me player.
through,
Mm.
con- through contacts at Celtic, but Abada was a brilliant player. You look at Jota as well. I mean,
Mhm.
you must love Jota, Heidi. I mean,
Oh,
Jota
I
was
love
great.
Jota. Absolutely love Jota.
I'm just hoping that he can. I'm just hoping that Jota can be back soon for Celtic.
I know. I know. This is the thing, and hopefully when he comes back the same player.
Yeah, exactly, because he's been out for so long. I think this is a good point as well, because, as I said to Michael a few weeks ago, see
Mhm.
when see when Wilfred Nancy came in a few weeks ago,
Mhm.
Celtic were 9 points ahead, 9 points ahead of Rangers, and now Rangers have the opportunity now to go ahead of Celtic tomorrow.
I know. They literally can go level on points to Celtic tomorrow.
Yeah, it's
Like,
crazy.
and
Uh,
even Rangers, who had their worst start of the season under Russell Martin, now can go level on points with Celtic. It's mad. Mm.
yeah, it's crazy. I mean, Um, obviously, I think the big thing for Celtic at the moment is the Celtic board are not really taking any responsibility, and it's for
No.
people to. Everybody, everybody's able to see it. But I
Mhm.
think eventually, like I said to you, I think if Celtic get beat tomorrow, the Celtic board are surely going to hear that.
And the thing is, right, see if they did sack Nancy, they're going to be like, we've made a mistake again. Like, are they actually going to take responsibility for making mistakes again? This is the problem. Like, if they say they'll not admit to make mistakes, that's the thing with the board. They'll not admit it, but they have to. They're going to have to admit it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like anybody in the working life. If you make a mistake, then you need to admit it, or else you'll be out the door and stuff like that. So
Exactly. Mm.
I think the problem is, Heidi, is that sometimes football can be brushed as football supporters that complain are entitled and stuff like that as well.
Mhm.
But I just wanted to ask you as well, because it's the festive period. I mean, have you got any moment that's your favourite of 2025 from football, like Scotland or Celtic or Scottish
Oh,
football in general?
definitely Scotland v Denmark. That was just unbelievable. That was probably the best. I think the way it just happened. I mean, McTominay, that bicycle kick, McLean for the halfway line. I thought that was the best moment. Scotland qualified for the World Cup was definitely the best moment. For Celtic, not really great as that. Maybe Martin O'Neill coming back and winning 3-1 against Rangers, but either that, 2025 for Celtic's been a bit not the best at all. But
Yeah, I mean,
I think.
I'm sure you've heard stories from your family about Martin O'Neill, because obviously you were only born. But I mean, it must be so good for you to actually
Yeah, I
see
mean, it's like my
Martin O'Neill
pop.
back at
He's
Celtic.
71, so obviously he saw Jock Stein as well. So he's told me a lot about Jock Stein and how that he's seen Celtic win the European Cup on the telly live, like, and obviously he's telling me about the final, in Seville against Porto. Mm.
Yeah, yeah,
So he's
aye,
seen Celtic in numerous European finals and stuff. So he's kind of seen, obviously, seen the bad days in the 90s. So he's seen it. He's like, you know what? I'm kind of used to it, but at the end of the day, I mean, honestly, it's just, yeah.
Yeah, it's no good. See, in terms, we'll just go on to obviously Motherwell against St Mirren. I mean, that Motherwell team's got to be so high in terms of thinking they can
Mhm.
go out tomorrow and beat St Mirren after doing so
Mhm.
well against Celtic.
I think St Mirren, obviously they'll be on a high after winning the League Cup, which they fully deserved it. And I think obviously they did go and beat they drew with Kelly, then they beat Livingston. So I think obviously they're kind of on a bit of a, obviously John McKelly not the best, obviously. But at the end of the day, I think Stephen Robson has done an absolute outstanding job at St Mirren. I mean, consecutive top six season and win the League Cup. Like he surely now there'll be folk looking at him saying maybe up for a bigger job. But I think the way he's dealt with a club at St Mirren, the players that he's got, the resources, I think he's done an outstanding job at St Mirren. Mm.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of what Motherwell as well. I mean, the budget that Motherwell are on, and the fact that they're able to do that is a credit to the manager because
Well,
sometimes
I think that manager has been outstanding, and some of the players like the likes of Elliot Just, I think he's been a highlight as well. So I think they've got the highlight players in there that are scoring goals. Mm.
yeah, and obviously, um, in terms of the rest of the matches, you've got the Scottish Championship. You've got Airdrie against Raith Rovers, Ayr against Queens Park, Dunfermline against Ross, uh, Ross County. In terms of that idea, I mean, I see Stuart Kettlewell's back there as well, so
That
I
was
think that'll be
madness.
interesting.
I mean, how a guy gets sacked for a manager job, then a few weeks later he's back. Like, it's mad. Mm.
Yeah, I think Stuart Kettlewell's got a great relationship with that club because
Mhm.
he's obviously been there as a player and obviously he managed them before in COVID. So I think probably they've just said, right, if you can try to make sure we don't go down to League One, because I think
Mhm.
for them it would just be so bad for them.
I know Ross County has been an absolute disaster. I mean, they got thumped off what was it, Raith Rovers like 6-0. They did draw
Yeah,
with St
yeah,
Johnstone's league leaders, but they're just a mess. Like I've never really seen Ross County be this bad because I remember in the Premiership they were actually quite good in the Premiership. They obviously did beat Rangers in that. Like they were decent in the Premiership. They were a hard wee team to go to Dingwall, but this season in the Championship they've just been so bad, and I didn't expect it.
yeah. I mean, the rest of the matches is Partick Thistle against Greenock Morton and St Johnstone against Arbroath. I mean, Partick Thistle have been so good this season. I've been to watch them 5 times, obviously,
Mhm.
from the interviews and that. But Partick Thistle have been a breath of fresh air for Scottish football as well.
Oh, I think that Mark Wilson has done a fantastic job at Partick Thistle. Honestly, I really, really want them to go up in the league. I really do. I really want them to go to the Premiership. I think they're a very good club, and I like they've brought in experience. They've brought in Tony Watt, right? They've brought in experience there, and I think Partick Thistle's a decent wee side that do deserve to be in that Premiership.
Yeah, and obviously, St Johnstone versus Arbroath. I mean, Arbroath they're playing really well themselves.
Mhm.
But like St Johnstone, they'll be looking to get back to winning ways, obviously, because they drew last week.
Mhm. Yeah, I think that Simo Valakari is a good manager. I do rate him. I do
Yeah, I
rate
mean,
him as a manager.
yeah, I
I
think
think he's
uh,
really good.
no disrespect to St Johnstone. I hope Alistair, who's on, who's on the show quite a lot, I hope he's not listening. But I think if he does, make sure that
Mhm.
St Johnstone get up, I think a bigger club might come
Mhm.
calling because I think
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
he actually seems like the type of manager that could really go go on to like a top level, you know. Um,
Yeah.
I,
100%.
I think in terms of the championship as well, I think that's going to be a close league as well, Heidi.
Yeah, I think I've said it for ages. I think the Championship's one of the best leagues in Scotland.
Yeah, it's been so good.
because
I mean,
you'd never know who's actually going to get promoted.
yeah, and I'm just hoping that obviously that even teams like Raith Rovers and Queen's Park and that as well, that they can try and make it even more better, because I know Michael always winds me up and says I'm a party pistol cheerleader, but that's far from the truth, because what I do, your idea is, I just do, the last thing I want for that league is for St Johnstone to be 15 points ahead, and for us to be going, oh no, that is becoming very boring. I mean, we'd like the championship to be the very last day of the season. There's 1 point in it, and
Aye.
whoever wins the game will win.
I think that'd be brilliant. I
Yeah.
think that'd be really good. I love it to be tight and interesting. Like,
So I mean, that's what's been on for about 40 minutes. But just going back over the matches tomorrow, we'll be Celtic versus Rangers, Dundee against Dundee United, Falkirk versus Aberdeen. Then obviously, Tynecastle. They've got the visit of David Martindale and his team. Chris Dillon is taking on David Gray, and then you've got Motherwell against St Mirren. For people that didn't join us earlier in the show, I think I'm going to go with a 3-0 victory for Rangers, and I think you said 2-1, Heidi.
2-1 Rangers, yeah.
And in terms of the Dundee derby, what are you thinking for that again?
I'll go 2-1 to Dundee United.
I'm going 3-1 to Dundee United. Thank you to everyone who's joined us. I don't know what's happened to Robbie. He was supposed to be joining me, but I don't know what's happened. Thank you very much for joining me, Heidi. It's been great.
You're welcome. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Heidi, and I'll speak to you all again soon.
Right. See you later. Bye.